Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. Stop for a moment and take a look at me. Don't I look tired? I have to because I really am tired. Do you know what it means to be tired? Do you know what it means to go after something for so long? Either running, racing, growing up. You get tired. Well, I'm experiencing a lot of that tiredness. I've grown up, and the past 33 years of my life have been spent because I saw people who were economically deprived, people who just didn't have the wherewithal to enjoy life. And it was a sickness, it was a sin for these things to exist. And I had enough compassion in my heart for the power that we can't see, what we call God, to reveal to me the answer. And the mission became convincing the people that this poverty, this pain, this economic deprivation did not have to exist. And for 33 years I've done it. I've been out here. And I'm tired because people just can't see it. You know, America, we speak English. That's the language. Mexican speaks Mexican, and others speak other languages. And those languages are designed to help them communicate, or to communicate so they can socialize. But each of them know that their particular language is not the only language. For instance, we speak English. Where does our English come from? Our English come from a country called England. But you know, ladies and gentlemen, much of what we do here in America also is from England. And I want the people of America to know that it is not the best way. It was not good enough to keep us in England, us meaning those who came from England. And coming over here, bringing England's ways and means did not make this a better country. And for some of those things that the founders determined were not necessary here and put aside, well, those things are returning. And our system, our economic system, is getting worse. People say it's because we're getting more people within our continental borders. That's not true. That's just a thought for people who don't know the truth. But I want to give one last shout out to American people. You are children, not of your own creation. In fact, not even of your parents' creation. They are just instruments. They were just tools that were used. And even your body is just a tool that is used to bring your life into this world. And the life that you live in this world, listen to me, because I'm tired of talking to you. The life that you live in this world is determined by who you give allegiance to. If you give allegiance to what we call Satan, the devil, or evil, or selfishness, there will be a lot of pain and suffering within this country continuously. Sure, there will be those who would benefit. People who rip others off usually benefit from the particulars that they rip people off of. Doesn't necessarily bring them joy and peace, but it does kind of eliminate that you don't have. And at the same time, it creates homelessness, it creates unemployment, it creates all of the ugly things that we see in this country and any other country. But my message, listen to me clearly. And you church folks who think that tithing, giving a portion of your income to the church, is going to cause God to open up a window and pour you out a blessing, that is deceit. And for those of you who believe these preachers who tell you plant a seed, plant $1,000 seed, and God gonna open up some I want you to know that God doesn't work on a money basis. God does not work on a money basis. Money is a design of man. Let me say it again. Money is a design of man. It is used by man, originally you said, as a means of exchange. But today it still is used as a means of exchange and exploitation. In fact, money has turned into what we call the tool that draws people to God, but not the God that we can't see, the God who created the world. It draws people to the God who's behind the curtain, the God who is manipulating the currency, the money, the God who is lending money throughout the world. It really has no value except the value that has been put on it and accepted by us. And they're putting the whole world under their bondage. And that includes America. But America, I want you to know this. I ride in cars with people and I listen to them. They complain about somebody got a nice house and they don't. They complain about somebody got a big bank account and they don't. They complain about somebody has a nice car and they don't. They complain about people who afford the kind of education they like and they can't. They complain about people who have the health care and they don't. They complain about any and everything. And yet they will do nothing but complain. Let me say this to you one more time. Listen to me good. Everything that our senses can identify was made by God. Things that we can't even see but exist were made by God. And I say God, I'm not talking about a person. I'm talking about a power. Because I don't know if God is a person. The book says it, but I don't know nothing about that. I have never seen God, but I have seen the work of God. So I say God is a power. So when you hear me say God, I'm talking about a power that man cannot manifest. So all of this is made by God. When you think of homes and what it takes to make homes out of all of the different things that they're made out of come from God. When you think about cars and all the different things it takes to make cars, all of it came from God, including the labor force. When you think about food and all of the things and different kinds of food that exist and to get it from here to there comes from God. When you think about energy, whether it's electricity, whether it's gas, or whether it's nukes, or whatever forces it might be, it all comes from God. And ladies and gentlemen, it's scattered all over the globe, as people are scattered all over the globe. And you know what those things were put here for? They were put here so man, as man matures and develops his capacity to imagine, to think, to create, all of these resources here are here to be available so that man can use them, extract them, and use them for whatever purpose they desire. But I want you to know that everything on the earth, listen to me real good, this is really important, very important. Everything on the earth belongs to God. The only thing belongs to you is what you brought into the world with you. And the only thing that belongs to you, again, is that which you take out of the world with you. So you come into the world with a body, and it's on temporary loan. And there'll come a time when that body cannot go any further. So you own nothing. Let me say it to you again. You own nothing. But all things are put here for the benefit of everyone. Everyone. Russia, look, those who live in a democracy, those who live under dictatorship, those who live under communism, those who live under socialism, whatever system that you live under, everything that exists in the world was designed so that you, every last one of you, could benefit from them. Now, the systems of the world are designed to keep those things from you. The system of the world are designed so that whoever has a position of power, and I'm talking about selfish power, can manipulate what goes on within your geographics. And that is to make one or a group superior to others. That's the crux, ladies and gentlemen, of all of the pain and suffering that we have all over the world. Now, it's one thing for a person to decide to exploit you or another. That's one thing. But that doesn't make it possible. It takes two things to make that possible. The other thing that's missing is for the one who would be exploited to accept it because of fear, because of ignorance, whatever the reason might be. It takes those two. It takes one who will do it to you, and it takes one that will say, I'll accept it. That's the only time exploitation can take place. The only reason poverty exists in America is because there are one group of people, I don't know what, that has nothing to do with color. It's a selfishness. There's a group of people who will, for their own personal benefit, exploit the whole nation. But that doesn't make it real. The other thing that makes it real is that those people who would be exploited are accepting it. God said, do not exploit. You cannot exploit people if you love. So, love your neighbor, love your enemy, means that there will be no exploitating. Thou shalt have no other gods before me goes to that one who gets exploited. To become exploited means you dishonor God. You act like you don't know God. You don't trust God. And so you trust in that one who will exploit you, because that one exploit you, will lie on you, will do whatever is necessary, misrepresent you, put you in jail, put you in prison, and will kill you. And because you do not know God, you submit and you become exploited. So all the crime all over the earth, all in America, crying because you don't know God. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I can't make you know God, but I'm going to say you this. Rich people will not straighten this nation out. You've heard something about the economy flowing from the top down. That will never work. People who think they're smart and ingenious will never make this nation a better nation. It won't work. They're too selfish. Look at all your billionaires. They are the most selfish people on the face of the earth. And when you think that they're doing something for you, they are not doing a darn thing for you. The elites, those who, well, I don't have to, you know, they don't care about you. But people who want to be rich don't care about you either. So if there's going to be any change in this country or any change in the world that's positive, it's going to come from those who are suffering. Those who are suffering will have to stand up and say no more. I'm not talking about walking around with a sign talking about fed up and gonna take it no more. I'm talking about meaning it. No more. Because as long as a person will take abuse, oppression, they will get it. There's always somebody there ready to do it to you. And we'll do it until you say no more and mean it. So if there's going to be any change in America, it's going to take people who still have that connection, that understanding about slavery. People who were descendants of slaves, who still are not as selfish as the world wants them to become. It will take people who have been left out. It would, and that comes in all colors, black, white, and any other. Mexicans who have come across the border running from pain. It will take you. It will take you in this country to change this country. Politics will not change it, because the way the system is set up, the politics are ran by the people who care the less about you. That's why they're spending billions of dollars to keep that plan in play, while you grab on to a Republican or Democrat as if they think about you. I'm trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, forget a Republican in the sense of politics. Forget a Democrat in the sense of politics. And you might as well forget about the church in the sense of right and wrong. Now, it's so hard for those words to come out of my mouth, because the church was an institution that was set up by God to keep the people of the earth informed. But that's not what the church does. The church exploits, just like every other selfish, God-denying son of a bitch. They exploit and deny God. And you will never get what you want, peace, prosperity, and joy, from the rich, or those who want to be rich. You will not get it from the government that's in play now, and you will not get it from the church. You will not, listen to me, you will not get it from the church. The church was here before Jesus Christ came. I know you, well, a form of the church was here before Jesus Christ came. If that church was in it darn good, Jesus Christ wouldn't have had to come. And because of that same old church, Jesus Christ was killed. And because of that same old church, the world is going to hell in a handbasket because of all those things I've mentioned. I have told all the people in the community, if you can't pay your rent, if you can't clean your yard, if it's overbearing, if you can't get your transportation, if you got a lot of problems in your life, take them to your mayor and to those aldermen or city councilmen. Tell them your problems and give them the responsibility to resolve them. Let them do as much as they possibly can, but they will not be adequate. But if you are in that city, whatever city you're in, and you're not competing against another city, every people in every city want basically the same things of life. So you're all talking to your representatives about the same things. Now they're going to have to go to the state because they cannot meet all of the needs at this level. That means you're going to have to support these representatives at the state level. And if your representative won't take it, then you go. Put your representatives aside. They don't matter anymore. The moment that they don't care about you, they do not matter. But you make sure that whatever avenue you take, it includes them. You don't become like them. They do matter in the sense of what's right. But in the sense of not doing what's right, then they don't matter. You take it to the state. And when I say take it to the state, the people in every state in the 50 United States of America and people in every country of the world desire the same basic things of life. You take it to your state. United States, every state. I want to see all the people in every city raising hope within their city. Then I want to see them going to the states all over this country saying, this is what we're missing. And the states will, like the cities, tell you they cannot adequately meet your needs. Then I want all of the states, every city, every state, to go to the president, go to the federal government, take it to that higher step. Go to the federal government and say, these are the things that's missing. We got 100 million people who can't pay their mortgage. We got 100 million people who need transportation, can't get it. We got 200 million people who need better jobs. We got 300 million people that want life and a better life. And that federal government says we'll do everything we possibly can to meet your mandate. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? In doing that, they will find that they will have to change the way they've been doing things. You cannot meet these needs. You cannot and you will not meet them according to the dictates of your founding fathers, of your Republican Party, of your Democratic Party, or of your church. You will not meet them. So what can you do? Change your mind. Change your mind from all of that junk that you've been believing that got you rich while somebody else is poor, that got you poor while somebody else is rich. change all that junk out of your mind and renew your mind with the Spirit of the Almighty God, who is able to do everything that your senses can identify. And it is not limited to just that. Guess what it can do? It can guarantee that your needs are met. And what is the requirement? Is that you honor God, acknowledge God. And to do that means you must respect all people. All people. When I say respect all people, that means want for others the same as you want for yourself, and as you want others to want for you. Want it. But don't just want it. Act on it. Act on it. Act on it. And you stop trying to get yours while other folks don't have anything, because all you care about is yourself. You think about getting an opportunity to exercise the gift that God has given you in cooperation with others and what they are doing as a people. And you create, you build, you manifest all of the goods and services that will meet the needs of every citizen in this country. Now, when you walk around me talking about what somebody else got and what you don't have, I want to slap you in the mouth, because I've been talking to you for 30 years. You still walk around talking about what you were pissed off about and doing nothing. I'm so tired of going to churches. I've been going to church for 60 years, and all I've been hearing over and over again are Bible stories. And somebody saying you got a title so we can pay. George Carlin sees a picture that's been presented by the church of an invisible man up in the clouds hiding around. Created all this junk with sickness and poverty and crime and violence that exists, and gave you 10 rules that you must not disobey. And if you do, they got some built down there to send you in to burn throughout eternity forever and ever, without even burning up just that pain and suffering. And he loves you. Well, George Carlin says that because that's the picture that has been presented to the people all over the earth. Who knows anything about love? Dr. King knew about love. They killed him. Abraham Lincoln knew about love. They killed him. Gandhi and many others, I can't name them all, who knew about love, but they've been slaughtered. So I have to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know that this is true, but it appears to me that the door that allows individuals to be released out of this hell comes from loving folks and being killed for loving people. It seems to me, I can't actually say it's true, I don't know it, but it seems like that's something that God would do. He kicked all this hell out of heaven and then opened up a door so people can get back in it. But in order to get back in it, you got to be killed for doing what is required to be in it. But you're not being killed to try to get the door to go into heaven. You're being killed for trying to create heaven where you're at. And if you will be killed for trying to create heaven and where you're at, who is more deserving to go through that door to heaven? Somebody who around here lying, cheating, stealing, killing, causing war, ripping other folks off, and Jesus died on the cross to forgive you, and they're going to let your sinful, no good, stinking, retarded butt up in heaven? You must have think God is a fool. I'm going to tell you something. God is not a fool. And you can believe that Jesus Christ died on that cross, and if you believe that, see, what you don't know is this. If you believed that Jesus Christ died on the cross for you, and you accepted that, your life would change. Your life would change. You'd become such a good person they kill you. But you say you believe it, and you die. Even Al Capone, all the killers, all the murderers, all the liars, all the cheating, low-down son of a guns have died. Somebody say, well, they with God now. I don't think so. I don't know, but I don't think so. No, I don't think so. You can't put a good person and an evil person in a house and they make it. No, you got dissension all up in that place. So why in the world will God let all of them sinners get back up in heaven? People who couldn't treat their neighbor right, couldn't even treat their mothers and their kids. Couldn't treat them right. And now somebody told you you're going to heaven. Let me tell you something. That is a flat, right out lie. If you want to go to heaven, create heaven right here. Create heaven right here. And don't you let that devil stop you. Don't you let the elite stop you. Don't you let government stop you. Don't you let the Republicans stop you. Don't you let the Democrats stop you. Don't you let white people stop you. Don't you let black people stop you. Don't you let men stop you. Don't you let women stop you.